What's up guys? In today's video I'm going to teach you and I'm going to show you something very useful and something very easy to learn, which is sessions. This is something like, first you have to know that a session and a cookie is something different. A cookie is stored in the browser, like in the user's browser, in the client's browser. But a session is stored in the server and it's information that you can use. So for example, if you want to store the I don't know what he clicked, what he wants to buy, etc. You can store that in a session, the cart. If you want to store the cart, you can do that in the session. So how do we use session in Flask? So it is very simple. The first thing that you have to do is to import a global variable which is called session. So we are going to say that from Flask globals import session. And now here we have that variable in which we are going to store everything. But before using that variable, the first thing that we have to do is to put a secret key. So in order to do that, after you create the app, what you have to do is to put app.secret key, and this is going to be equal to something that you want to put. Like if you're going to do something professional, don't put this, but you have to put whatever. So now we are able to use a session in Flask in our server, and the thing that we are going to do is that we are going to put a counter of how many times a user has been, like a browser has been in a specific page. So that specific page is going to be the index HTML, and in order to use sessions, we have to use them as if they were a dictionary. So this is very simple. Let's say that we want to put that number of visits, and the thing that we have to do is to say, okay, if the key is going to be visits not in session, we initialize this key value pair, and we put here session visits is equal to 1. In any other case, what we are going to do is to put that the number of visits is the same 1 plus 1. And that's it. That's how you basically use sessions. Just use them as if they were a dictionary. So now what we have to do is to put this variable in the HTML. And how do we do that? I already showed this in a previous video, but we are going to call this variable in the HTML visits, and here we put visits, and this is going to be equal to the value in the dictionary. So with this, we are going to be able to store, we are going to be able to store the number of visits in the index HTML. Like I already put this here, but let me put it again. And it is as simple as this. You put here, and let's say number of visits, 2 dots, and then you put here this. Remember that when you open this curly bracket twice, you are going to put a variable. So we put the name that we set, which is going to be visits. I here put that wrong, visits, and that's it. That's how you basically use sessions. Let's try this now, and let me close this. Let's try this now. So Python tutorial 7. We go to the page, and we can see here that we have the number of visits, which is 1, but if we update the page, we see that the number increases every time we update the page. But another thing that you have to know is that this is considering that this browser is a client and another different browser is going to be another different client. So for example, if I copy this link and I use Google Chrome, for instance, you see that the number of visits is 1 because this is a different this is a different browser. So here you can see that the numbers are different because Flask is considering each browser a different client. So that is very useful, and that is something that is worth it to know. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a like, share, subscribe, and see you in the next one.
Estoy bajando todo, lo siento, te quedas en nada. Hi.